Good day. This is Pastor Johnson from St. Luke's Lutheran Church, Park Ridge, Illinois. We are here for the weekly conversation, and sitting next to me today is someone that many of you know, but some of you are just using the internet may not know, and that is our office administrator, Susan Pinto. Welcome, Susan. How are you today?
Oh, I'm fine, Pastor Johnson. Thanks for having me join you today.
Well, yes, and the reason for having you join us is probably a pretty sad thing for us, but we want to have you have the opportunity to kind of share some news that you shared both with our staff this week, as well as the executive committee and the HR committee. Can you share that information with us?
Yes. We have a little visitor joining us today to help me with this news, I guess. That's Dixie.
Hey, Dixie. She's our office comfort dog.
Yep, that's what she is. Well, my news is that I turned in my retirement notice. I'm going to be finishing up the year here at St. Luke's and plan on being in the office until December 31st.
Well, I think it's proud. I think you want to make it clear, and I certainly want to make it clear too, that your retirement and my retirement are really not linked to each other. It happens at the same time. Actually, was going to be sharing with the entire staff a week ago that I was going to be retiring, but I knew that Susan was not going to be at that meeting because she was on vacation that week. So I had shared with her on a Friday, and as I shared my information with her, she shared her information with me. So obviously it's a very exciting for you, sad for the congregation. You've done so many wonderful things here at St. Luke's to improve our ability to be communicating with each other and our business practices and the like. So can I ask you what kind of motivated you to make the decision to retire at this time?
Well, that's a good question. It was kind of a combination of quite a few things over the last couple of years. I've been thinking about retiring for a while now, and I just thought, maybe the end of this year is a good time to do it. It's been kind of a long journey, but it's been a good journey. These 9 years at St. Luke's, it's really been kind of a second home for me, and I have grown so very fond of so many people. I don't even know who all to tell you to thank, but they know who they are, and it's just been a wonderful time for me. I've grown in this position and learned so much, and I submitted my notice of retirement with kind of mixed emotions. I want to, but it's also going to be kind of a sad day when I'm not here anymore, for myself, personally speaking.
I know how you feel.
Because so many people,
so many
people have touched my life.
Well, you started with Pastor Christie, I think, was your mentor when you first arrived here. When did you actually start, Susan?
October 9th of 2012.
October 9th, 2012. So you've seen a lot of the changes that have taken place, a lot of transitions that have gone on during those periods of time. And you, along with Ann Krenz Organ, have been tremendously, anchor is the word that I would like to use, not in a negative sense, but in a positive sense. You've kind of known the traditions of the church and held them together in the midst of all the different changes. So we just want to thank you so very much for the gift that you have been to us. As I said, you were running your own business before you ended up coming to St. Luke's. And so you've been able to use a lot of those business practices to help us shore up some of our business practices here at St. Luke's. So we are so appreciative of that work.
Well, thank you for saying that, but it's me thanking you for this great opportunity to be with you for these 9 years. But I'm looking forward to a little bit of a slower paced life now and enjoying my friends and family. In this time that I've been here, I was blessed with 3 beautiful grandchildren, 3 grandsons, and all my kids and grandkids, they live close by, so we can spend time together. I just found out that my oldest grandson is going to be a lector at the Mass at our church I think this coming Wednesday. So I'm going to be able to get up and go listen to him preach the word.
That's wonderful.
So,
that's wonderful. And if I might say, just as a point of personal privilege for you, it sounds like your son just recently took a new position at Elmhurst College. Do you want to speak about that at all?
he did. He was hired there several years ago as well. He's a teacher there of private lessons and teaching a band and a combo and all the different ensembles that he works with. But most recently, he was promoted to the director of jazz studies at Elmhurst College. So actually, Elmhurst University. I have to get used to saying that. So they just became a university in this past year. So very proud of him and my other son as well, because he is the one that brought Dixie into my life. You know all about David and
I do
his
know.
connection with the Anti-Cruelty Society.
Absolutely.
This is where Dixie came from. So.
Well, it'll give you plenty of time to be with Dixie, and it'll give you more time to be at some of your son's concerts and gigs along the way. Well, we just want to thank you so very much for the gift that you have been. When are you considering officially retiring, or when will be your last day?
Well, we were thinking that my last day in the office would be December 31st, which is the plan. But as I mentioned to HR, I would be willing to help out with the transition and some training and maybe doing some remote work for them in January, time permitting, and as I'm able.
Wonderful. Well, Susan, thank you so very much. I've got a couple of other things that I want to just share with the congregation in this conversation, but thank you for sharing, and we look forward to having you here with us for the next 2 months. And please, members of our congregation, take opportunity to stop by and say hello to Susan or to send her a note in thanks for the ministry that she has brought since 2009. So that would be, let's see, about
2012, 9 years.
Well, excuse me, 9 years. That's right. 9 years. So, boy, time goes by, doesn't it?
It sure does. I don't know where this almost decade passed since I started, but
wow.
It's been a great run, and I thank everybody for the opportunity to let me serve here at St. Luke's.
Thanks. You have a great day.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And so I just would like to fill you in on a couple of other things before I leave today. This week we have worship at 8:30 and 10:45. We are going to be looking at the gospel text, which is from the Gospel of Mark. It's the blind Bartimaeus text. It's one of my favorites because Bartimaeus is one of the only people in the Bible who, after being healed, actually goes and follows Jesus and changes his life. And so we're going to be talking about that text this weekend. So we hope that many of you can join us either online, which is going to be available to you after 5 o'clock on Saturday night, or at our in-person services at 8:30 and 10:45 service. We do have an educational hour that begins at 9:45. You are going to be receiving a letter from us today in the mail and via email, I should say, electronic mail, notifying you that we had a COVID exposure this weekend. Pastor Sally discovered on Monday that she is COVID positive, and she was in worship on Sunday. She is fully vaccinated, but she did preach and she did assist in communion. So the letter just kind of outlines the contact that she had and the preparations that we have made to kind of keep COVID exposures to a minimum. But we want you to be aware that that happened. So if you were in church or if your children were in church, please be aware and take a look at that letter. If you feel the need to be tested, obviously you should. But I think generally speaking, hopefully most exposures were to a minimum. And we are wanting to pray for Pastor Sally and her family during this period of time. We also just want to thank those who participated in the virtual crop walk this last week. We haven't gotten the final totals in terms of gifts to the crop walk on behalf of St. Luke's, but we will be getting that information to you momentarily. In this time, we pray for God's healing spirit to be with our congregation, as we're now going to be going through two major transitions, my retirement and Susan's retirement. Please be with the executive committee, the congregational council, our staff, and also our HR committee as they work together to identify a process for selecting a new lead pastor and an office administrator. So those are the announcements and happenings that are taking place here at St. Luke's this week. We pray that you are well, and we look forward to seeing you either online or possibly in person this weekend. Just as a note, we did put together our online service this week without Pastor Sally being in the building. We obviously found out after that exposure and her testing positive that we needed to record the service this week. So we did some things that allowed us to put together the service without her actually being in the building. We wanted her to be safe at home, and we wanted to make sure that people felt safe in our building as well. So we did make those arrangements this week. And so when you see the recording, please know that that recording took place. Most of that recording took place prior to her exposure. With those things in mind, have a blessed week, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye now.